I can't think of too many bands that started really like innocent. Like I mean, it was like Depeche Mode started like synth pop, and they went really into like a gothic avenue. I mean, it was electronic throughout typically, but they were pretty big pioneers in the electronic rock music. During like 1980s? I don't know if there was definitely 1980s. Okay, into the 1990s. Yeah. I'm just trying to think. I mean, obviously you got like the Doors, Suicide. That's like electronic rock. I mean, there's just some other bands. Definitely plenty. I'm just thinking of like some bands I really like. And interestingly enough, they both are also. I mean, like, Doors are like death rock, but like, come on, like that's gothic rock. Come on. And then I would say definitely Suicide's a very gothic rock or gothic electronic music. Or they're electronic punk, post-punk, whatever you want to fucking call it. Shake the Disease and Blue Dress are possibly my two favorites. I have plenty of more. I mean, there's so many fucking more. So I mean, there's definitely more, but here's just some that I can just. I recently, for some reason, I like to like self-sabotage. I mean, not recently. That is just something that's like a fucking trademark of mine or for me, but. So I removed a bunch of fucking tracks, but these are just essentially my favorite of favorites for on this playlist I've made, which features Depeche Mode, and I did remove Just Can't Get Enough. I don't know why. I think it's because like I can't be soft right now. I don't know why. I removed my entire indie rock playlist, like just deleted it. There was that's just like all my teenage to young adult, and I'm like, I'm not a young adult anymore, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I don't fuck. Anyway, so I intend on regenerating or recovering all this stuff slowly, but besides the point, Just Can't Get Enough, Everything Counts, Black Celebration, Here's the House, But Not Tonight, Shake the Disease, World in My Eyes. I mean, I think I just honestly like the entire album of Violator. I mean, I can fucking forget. There's so much. I mean, I'm just really bad with names and just remembering shit. I just know Depeche Mode good. Depeche Mode good. This album cover good. That means this album good. Anyway, so I mean, pretty much the entire album. World in My Eyes, Sweetest Perfection, Personal Jesus, Halo, Waiting for the Night, Enjoy the Silence, Policy of Truth, Blue Dress, Clean, and then I do really like that Dangerous track, which is like a B-side or whatever. I don't know what the fuck. I want to started listing off other songs. Sorry. Despite loving this band a lot, I mean, I really genuinely do. I've listened to a lot of Depeche Mode. If you were to tell me like who's in Depeche Mode, I'd have some difficulty. So we got Dave Gahan or Dave Gahan. I know David Gahan. I'm not sure how to spell it or pronounce his last name, but he's the vocalist. I don't know if he does any instrumentation. There's Martin Gore, Annie Fletcher, Vince Clarke, and Alan Wilder. I know a little bit. I think I've seen a documentary, and I'd love if there's any books out there, like any autobiographies, biographies, etc. I'm sure, which there definitely fucking are. Depeche Mode's a pretty big band. Sorry. I mean, besides like the Doors, I can't really like Suicide's an underground band, and I mean, I'm just trying to think of like obviously New Wave was pretty predominant, but I feel like that was pretty fleeting. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'm sure you could say this with a lot of fucking bands, I'm sure. But, like, I think these, like I said they're pioneers. I really think that these guys really kind of put the electronic rock music into the zeitgeist, like, just blending the two. Because generally it was kind of like one or the other. And a lot of New Wave, like I said, it would be like, like, you had, New Wave would be a lot of like that synth pop is what I'm talking about. Like, it wasn't exactly rock. And, like, it was a little bit more pop-oriented. Like, hence why it has pop in the fucking name of the genre. Violator has almost like country energy or vibes or something like that, but it's interesting because this band seems like when I first listened to Depeche Mode, especially with Violator, I'm like, is this an American band? Because like this is definitely, it seems like there's, I don't know, man. It sounds like Texas. Sounds like they're in the South or Central South or Central of America or Central South. I mean, whatever the fuck you want to say, or anyway, like very country, or no, sorry, cowboy vibes, yet still retaining a very gothicness to it. There's definitely a lot of elements of social political commentary. I would say global issues, not and then also like inner struggles like addiction, mental illness, like relapsing, struggling with just I mean I'm a lot of us, me included, are, it's addiction is not easy, man, and we all have our own addictions, whether it's gambling or otherwise, drugs, sex. It could be it could be nearly anything. I mean, it couldn't essentially. I mean, maybe not anything, but Violator for sure is probably. I mean, like I think of a lot of albums that, like, if I were to start a collection again, if I had a collection of, and specifically records, like I've talked about this before, but like when I see a record, that just looks like almost like a masterpiece of artwork. If especially if you really genuinely appreciate it enough to like, I mean, I have a collection right now. I don't even have a fucking record player. I mean, like, if you want to call me a hipster or whatever, that's fucking fine. I'm honestly like thinking about selling the rest of my shit because I honestly don't really care to own material values, especially now. I mean, in the past, that's how I always felt, but it's still like, fucking collecting shit's awesome. But nowadays, it's just like, it just weighs me down. It just weighs me down. And say there's a flood or a fire or theft, and I know I'm probably thinking of the worst and shit like that, but it's like, maybe later in my life, I don't really have the resources for it. It's the same reason why I don't have like a bunch of tattoos. It's like, I just don't have the money for it. But anyway, getting back to it, if I did have Violator on a vinyl record, vinyl record, sorry, I was going to say record vinyl. Vinyl record, it would be, I mean, that's just definitely like, the reason, I mean, if I were to hold on to the records that I have, though, I would like to hang them up. Because because I already have, there is a difference, don't get me wrong, there is a difference with when you listen to records and CDs and digital and all that shit. There is a difference. But there's also a difference when you're doing all that with the equipment they're using. And once again, it's a whole lot of money that I just don't, just let me listen to the fucking song. So, streaming platforms, whatever the fuck, it's available there. But if I really did care to have any kind of like artwork or any kind of apartment decor, home decor in general, I mean, I would, in placements of, if I were to have records on the wall, I would love to have that on the wall, for example. So I'm going to blindly say top 25, but it could be higher. It could be, in a bigger number. Anyway, I mean, this band, I definitely very influenced by this band for sure. There's plenty of bands I'm influenced by, like there's like The Cure and Depeche Mode are very similar, but like obviously Depeche Mode went a lot more in interesting. I mean, The Cure did go in a synthesizer. They have had synthesizers and keyboards and shit too, but I'd say like they went more keyboard route rather. I don't know. I mean, that's what I would say, and because of their synth pop roots, they kind of always had that new wave vibe, so they knew, sampling and all that stuff for percussion, etc. So, and I mean, obviously, The Cure's got like double bass sometimes. Anyway, so I just completely different bands. I don't mean to compare, but I digress, man.